2, 1. Here we are. It's Sam and Mariam, website one meeting. We have talked about going bi-weekly with meetings. That might be a reason why we don't have so many people today. My main thing on my mind is wanting to go bi-weekly, so we have yeah, what's the word? Gosh. Yeah, bi-weekly. Nico's doing some good stuff, but yeah, no major issues for me apart from just wanting to kind of like get into a 2-weekly flow on everything. But yeah, since you're here, Mariam, maybe we can just help you with your issues and have a very quick meeting. And gosh, sorry, I'm exhausted at the moment. It's not making much sense. But let's go and have a look at the things that you were mentioning. So I just merged in a pull request from you somewhere. I don't know if it was on this project. It was on Looksport, right? But so yeah, and then so we had this issue here where the users doesn't have their email. Right. So that looks like a great fix. And yeah, so there was a failure there on this, so that maybe just requires a that's interesting. That's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, I got that error in another pull request, and like, well, after redoing it, it just disappeared. And, I don't know.
Well, I wonder if that's a timing issue.
Yeah, maybe.
And that, like, yeah, there's something that's not locked down there. Anyway, but I think the thing that you were mentioning as more of a concern was about, I guess, related to this issue, which I brought up, is seeing the email. So we fixed it to replace the tell the person the email. I guess also so the email itself, that there's no body to the email, or I guess somebody who doesn't realize why they've received this email might need some information about that, and then like to let them know how they could stop receiving it.
Yeah.
But so you were asking then about what's the way to do that? Is that they do this, that, and the other? I mean, we've just got Praveen is just, he's got this pull request in, which is adding a kind of an emails opt-in, opt-out thing to the users. So the simplest thing in the first instance would be to just make it so that all emails were dependent on this Boolean flag. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Even like if someone decides to unsubscribe the Agile Ventures newsletter, he will also get unsubscribed from the notifications.
Right. And so yeah, we can imagine that people will want it, they'll want a finer grained control in the future. But the simpler thing, I mean this one is, we're just giving the permission here at the moment to, like, it's not specifically about the newsletter, it's about to send me occasional emails. But yeah, we can imagine that somebody will want fine grained control, but no one has asked for that yet. And at the moment, we don't, we still, this pull request hasn't been merged. But so I would see, like, to my mind, the simpler way to proceed is that on top of this one, we need, like, I think this one only is only controlled at sign up. like it's only in like registrations new. So what we need on top of this is the ability to control this Boolean flag on and off through the user interface, like the user, their profile page.
Or maybe just to like a link in the email to to a page where they can unsubscribe.
Right. Which would be, on their user page or something similar. But either way, we need them. Absolutely. As regards the what goes in the email, like saying, you can unsubscribe here and a link, totally.
Yeah.
At the moment, we don't have anywhere for them to kind of go where they could unsubscribe, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, you could.
I think it's better to be in the profile. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess you could, in order complications with waiting for Praveen. I mean, you could.
There's already a Boolean value for that, but I think it's not. Yeah, because I checked the data model and there's already one attribute for unsubscribing.
Yeah, so that's because right. So there was this like huge whole effort designing like a newsletter functionality for within the system, and the people who designed it that made all of this, getting everything working, and then it like designing all that, and it would do this and it would do that, and then it never worked in production. It was never used. And so, yeah, maybe we've got a slight issue here of, is there, what's the thing that we've got in, you're saying there's this Boolean receive mailings. So that one I think was there, created a long time ago. And yeah, maybe Praveen has added like a new one. So yeah, confusion reigns. Nico is here. Hey, Nico, how you doing?
Hey there, guys. How are you? I'm fine. With a coffee, with a super coffee.
Yeah, indeed. Coffee keeping me going at the moment. The so yeah, I guess I will just grab a document there. So the things that were on my mind, just to recap, were moving to a bi-weekly meeting. Mariam had the failed build, and then how to support unsubscribing from project join notifications. And then Nico, do you have anything on your mind about website one?
No, not right now. No. The only thing it was the pull request that I'm working on, but I have to create a cucumber test. So yep.
Yeah, and we talked about that in the Scrum.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and that's all the one related to README import for projects.
And the pitch, because I added the functionality for the pitch.
Oh, cool. Yeah, wonderful. Well, that's very useful what we've surfaced here, which is that we've got Praveen PR for, this is the GDPR, dates, emails, opt-in flag. We have an existing, what was called, receive mailings. Flag, associated with old newsletter functionality that never worked or never worked in production. And we've now got the question of I think what we're agreeing, aren't we, Marianne, that emails to projects leaders about new joins should support unsubscription, right? And so we can add link to unsubscribed page. But so that sort of creates, I mean, what we've got really is a new ticket that we don't have. I mean, I kind of mentioned the issue in the pull request that you popped that open for, which is this one. But so really, I should create a separate ticket for that, and we should maybe vote on it. It's a funny one when you've got things to go. It's like, I mean, I guess there's a bigger issue, which is allow users to adjust their email preferences. So we could say here that it's we need a page where users can switch on and off receiving different kinds of emails, e.g. newsletter, project join notifications, etc.
Should it be specific or general, like if unsubscribe to a specific service or?
So, well, I think we've got options. Like, so it could be a simple first version is all or nothing. So all on or all off, and then next version could allow users to select emails from some and not others. We've got, and then there's got the. I guess I'll grab the notes from there. So, related, Praveen's PR creates emails opt-in flag intended for new newsletter. We have an existing received mailing flag associated with the old newsletter that never worked in production. So, I mean, I think that the that's what's danger about getting more complicated. In my mind, it seems like the user entity is getting a bit bloated. Do you know what I mean? If we look at the schema with all of the different things on the user, find the user there. It's quite a large model.
Yes.
So it's one of these things where it's like, do we refactor in anticipation of future complexity, or do we, not worry about it too much? I can imagine that what would it be? There would be. I'm just trying to think. Does it make sense to make a join table and have kind of like an email settings thing, which is separate, or just a series of Boolean flags on the user model?
I think it's better to separate it. Yeah.
I mean, I think that the what would the? I'm just trying to think, what if we did separate it? What would it look like? Like I mean, I guess what you could have an email preferences of model, which would maybe belong to user, and then it would have the like several booleans, right?
Yes, makes sense. Yes.
And then you could kind of have a separate controller for email preferences and maybe even a separate page, like rather than mixing it in with the already complicated user page. But you could argue that it would be simpler and quicker in the first instance, particularly because the stuff's already deployed to production, to have it so that, like at the moment, we've got some existing. So actually, we've got a receive site emails thing that's on or off, haven't we? So actually, we've already. I think this must affect that existing thing. I think right. This is good grief. Right. So we've superficially we've already got the functionality that we need. And so what we, right, so I think before we do the refactoring, the simple fix is to redirect, is to put a link to the user to this page and, you know, hook up the sending of the email to, you know, the current thing that we've got. Even if it's called the wrong thing on the database, we can potentially refactor it. Like the way it's presented here, yeah. I think this is the ground truth. Is anything that I'm saying making sense?
Yes, I think like for first of all, we should just try it like simpler like this, and then do another, like maybe another pull request and work on that. Because it's gonna take some time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Link to notification email e.g. project join. Right, and so so it becomes again kind of a different, like there's the gosh, but so the particular change there is make sure that project join notifications are controlled by that flag, and maybe like refactor flag name to match UI terminology that user sees. I mean, I'm jumping to a conclusion there. It's maybe I'm just assuming, looking at this, that this receive site emails flag is switching this on and off. So
I didn't try it.
Right, but yeah, I mean that can be checked
in
the code. Let's particularly for project joins. I guess I'm just gonna have this. So, and I think what I'm gonna also say to Praveen is just mention for on his pull requests that it's just say here also I note we have an existing flag receive mailings, which I think the user can set in by editing their profile. Perhaps we should use this, maybe refactor the name instead of adding a new Boolean. Okay. So shall we just do a quick vote on this one?
Okay. Yes.
I'm assuming that the voter is working.
Yep.
Voter allow users to unsubscribe from join projects notifications.
With both the parts.
So I'd say let's like
We are talking about all the options, right? When voting.
I think we're just leaving it as all on or all off, and then this is like this bit that I wrote down here. This is a future possibilities, and so we would have separate tickets for that. So I would say what we're voting on is this specific, like it's all on or all off. So we've got the interface functionality. I think the key changes that will be made here are to basically make sure that this flag, which I think is currently kind of unused, actually mediates the sending out of the project join notifications. And we've got a separate issue about like making sure that oh gosh, we've got okay.
Another issue for creating another table and managing the email settings.
Okay, sorry, I'm just having a little family crisis with one of my sons.
Okay.
Give me a second. Sorry, give me a second. I just got to pass on.
Forward to the mother.
Yes, I'm forwarding like the things there. Okay, right. Yeah, so what I was saying is that at the moment the newsletter we send out manually. So there's a separate thing about you know, us before we do newsletter sends out going and checking what people's preferences are for all of these things and so on. But yeah, so I think what we're voting on here is basically making sure that the project journal notifications are connected up to this flag and are controlled by this interface element that we saw here, and that the notification email about project joins refers users to this and says, you know, please check this here to unsubscribe. So yeah, Nico's already voted. Mariam, do you want to vote as well? Any questions? Mariam's voted as well. I've voted. We can reveal that. We've all gone for simple. So that's great. Whew. And now annoyingly I have to go into Waffle in order to set that. Mariam, I guess you are interested in working on that one?
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. So I will put a 1 on there and bring that into the here and pop that there on the top of the ready things for you to take and have fun with. So I think that's our meeting. I mean, I'd been anticipating that we would get a few more people and that we would say, yeah, right, okay, so this is great, and we'll do this now once every 2 weeks. I wonder, should we start doing? Should we now meet again in 2 weeks' time for the next sprint, or should we?
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we can clean up the. You are talking also about the pull requests that we have in our repository, right? In order to do a cleanup, because we were thinking in cleaning up every 2 weeks all the pull requests that we have there.
Yeah.
So
yes, and I mean, part of me is like, when we do the 1 week thing and we say we're going to clean up every 2 weeks, I get oh gosh, another thing. Yeah. What time will you pick them up? Yeah, like if we're doing it once every 2 weeks, then there's no confusion about which sprint it is, like, and when we clear up. Because I'm like, already confused. Did we start a sprint last week or 2 weeks ago? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You're right. Yep. So bi-weekly is cool.
Yeah. So I guess let's say that we're starting a new sprint now, and I mean that means we're supposed to be, clearing out the things. I think we've had progress on the. I mean, so Marian made progress, Praveen made progress. I guess Nico, you and Ben didn't get a chance to pair on the private stuff.
No, we didn't have a chance. But I don't know if anyone wants to take that issue for me. It's fine. Yeah.
Well, and I guess we don't have lots of people here saying yes, I want an issue. I want an issue. So it seems like no big deal. So this one, emails for project. That one's we're just reviewing. This is like Marion there. We've got. Anyway, Praveen has said that's ready for review. I've given him some feedback. I haven't heard from Nick on this, but so I mean, I think probably the thing to do now is maybe let you go. Close the meeting. I'll spend like 15 minutes on the board here, just reaching out to people and unless anybody else has any other questions or tickets they want to vote on or.
No. I also have to go.
Yeah, then I think that's good. And we'll meet again in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Awesome.
Great stuff.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.